Her name was Emily. She had hands like an artist's, a way of walking as if afraid to step on a crack in the pavement, and eyes light gray, almost glassy. People always noticed her gaze, but no one could ever understand what it was about it that was so quietly unsettling. She just doesn't fall in love, her classmates would say. She's too perfect, others would whisper. She's cold, some would murmur behind her back. But only she knew why every kiss felt like a bullet from a gun, and why love had long since become a curse rather than a blessing. The first kiss had been in high school at 13. Awkward, childish, at a basement party lit by plastic cup lanterns. A week later, Jake fell down the stairs at his grandmother's house, coma for a long time. Then rehabilitation. The second had been her first real boyfriend, Tom. He was funny shy about holding her hand but kissed her like he was apologizing to the world. A month later they found a tumor benign, but Emily didn't stay. She ran. She tried to ignore it. The third, the fourth had always repeated with everyone. There were tragedies. Someone would get in a car accident. Someone's relative would die the next day. Someone would start having strange dreams by now. At 20, she simply didn't try anymore. "Hey, is this seat taken?" The guy stood in front of her, holding a tray with coffee and a sandwich. "No," she replied, not looking up from her book. The campus cafe was almost always crowded. He sat down, unwrapped the sandwich, then put it back down. He didn't eat, didn't drink. Just stared at her. "Are you reading The Symbolism of Dreams?" he asked. "Yeah, for my psychology class. Do you actually believe in it? That dreams can be reflections of past lives?" Emily lifted her gaze. His eyes were strangely familiar, deep brown, too observant. "No," she lied. "Too bad." "I was hoping you would," she snorted. The guy stood up. "I'm Nathan. I'll see you around, Emily," and left without waiting for her response. He kept showing up everywhere. In lectures, in the cafeteria, in the library, not intrusively. He just was there. As if someone had intentionally placed him into her daily life, wedged him between the pages of her schedule. One day, he sat next to her on a bench by the lake. It was quiet. Yellow leaves swirled on the water. "Do you really think you can save everyone by just not loving anyone?" he asked, cutting straight to the point. She jolted, slowly looking up at him. "You don't know what you're talking about." "I do, because you've already kissed me." "What?" He turned to face her. His smile was slightly sad but gentle, without reproach. "In another life, a few years ago. We were together, not for long. Then I died." Emily stared at him, not blinking. "You're crazy. Maybe, but admit it. Since I've been around, nothing bad has happened to me, right? No accidents, no sickness, no nightmares. Not yet. Maybe we got a second chance. And if you run away again, it'll all repeat itself." That night, she sat in her room, staring at an old black and white photo. The only thing she had left from her mother. A young woman holding a baby, the same smile, the same eyes. But the look in her mother's eyes was the same as Emily's had become after the first kiss, frightened, almost like a warning. She remembered her mother whispering when she thought Emily was asleep. "Don't kiss those you love, honey. Love them from afar. It's safer." The next day, Nathan approached her again. "I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm just here. But I want to know. Do you really never want to know what would happen if you kissed me again?" She looked at him for a long time. "I'm not sure you'd survive." He smiled. "And I'm not sure I want to live if this is all there is, without you." She couldn't sleep that night. She tossed and turned, the question lingering in her mind. What if? What if he was right? What if this time, the curse was different, weaker? Or maybe, what if he was the key to breaking it? A week later, after another brief encounter with Nathan in the library, Emily found herself standing in the corner of the cafeteria. Her hands were cold, her stomach tied in knots. Her eyes searched for him, but she didn't know why. There he was, as usual, sitting at a corner table pretending to study. But his gaze locked onto hers the moment she walked in. He was waiting. Her heart raced. She hadn't realized just how much she wanted to see him, to hear him. Until this moment. She took a deep breath and walked over to his table. "I don't know if I can do this, Nathan." "Do what?" "I don't want to hurt you. I'm afraid." "Of me or of yourself?" She couldn't speak. He was so close now, just an arm's length away. She could feel the pull, the tension between them. "You already kissed me. You already know what happens. But now I want to know what happens if we let it." Her hands trembled, but she didn't pull back. Instead, she leaned in, her breath shallow. And as her lips met his for the first time, the world around her seemed to disappear. The air thickened, the ground beneath her felt like it was shifting. For a moment, she forgot about the curse, forgot about the fear, as everything melted into that one moment. But when she pulled away, she saw something in his eyes, something that scared her more than anything else. It wasn't death, it wasn't tragedy, but it was something much darker. She didn't sleep that night, not because something terrible happened. No sudden crashes, no ominous phone calls, no headlines. But because of the way Nathan looked at her after the kiss, like he had been waiting his whole life to remember something. And now that he had, it hurt. The next day, he didn't show up. Not in class. Not in the library. Not at the lake. Emily's mind spun with questions. Was he okay? Did she break something in him? Or was this simply how the curse worked? Slow and quiet this time, like rot under the skin. By evening, she broke and texted him, "Are you alive?" She deleted the message right after sending it, even though it was too late. It wasn't until 2 days later that she saw him again, on campus, standing beneath the old oak tree where upperclassmen liked to nap between lectures. Nathan looked different. Not sick, not injured. Just older somehow, like he'd seen something no one else had. She approached him slowly, unsure whether to touch him or not. "You disappeared," she said, softly. "I needed time," he replied, his voice quieter than usual. There was a pause. "Something happened after the kiss, didn't it?" "Yeah, I remembered everything." He turned to look at her, and this time his eyes didn't just carry that quiet warmth, they carried weight, grief recognition. "The dreams I've been having since I was a kid, they weren't dreams. They were memories, flashes from another life. We were together. It wasn't just once, it's happened again and again." Emily swallowed. "I don't understand. You're cursed, Emily. But it's not just yours, it's ours. We've been repeating this for lifetimes. You fall in love, you kiss me, I die. You live on with guilt so heavy, it carries into your next life." Silence settled between them like a fog. The breeze stirred the yellowing leaves at their feet. "And why do you keep coming back?" she asked. Her voice barely a whisper. He smiled, but there was no joy in it. "Maybe I'm just that stupid, or maybe some part of me believes the curse can break. That maybe one time, it'll be different. Maybe this time." That night, Emily had a dream. She was in a field wide and golden, stretching under a violet sky. Nathan was there, standing barefoot, smiling at her. She ran to him, and as soon as their hands touched, the sky cracked like glass. Light spilled down too bright to look at. And just before she woke up, she heard his voice in her ear. "If we don't finish what we started, we'll never stop repeating it." Over the next few days, Nathan told her more. About the different lives he remembered. How in one they met during a war. In another, during the Dust Bowl, when she was a farmer's daughter and he was a traveling musician. In one life, he was the one who kissed her first. And still, he died. Always some tragedy, always soon after the kiss. "It's like, the moment love becomes real, something pulls me away," he said once, tracing a circle on the tabletop in the fufti. "Maybe it's not love that kills you," she murmured. "Maybe it's me." He looked up sharply. "Don't say that. You don't get to carry all of this alone anymore." Emily didn't answer, but her hands were clenched in her lap. Later that week, they sat on the rooftop of her apartment building. The city lights glowed below like distant stars. "If we can't stop it," she asked, "would you rather forget me? Next life, I mean. No dreams, no recognition. Just peace." He thought for a long time before answering. "Number, even if I only get a few days with you, I'd rather live them and die again than live forever without knowing you." She looked away. The wind tugged at her hair and she blinked too fast. "I don't want to kill you." "Then let's find a way to stop it." That same night, she dug through the box of her mother's belongings, hidden in the back of the closet. She hadn't opened it in years. Inside, beneath old letters and worn-out photos, she found something strange. A folded piece of cloth with a symbol stitched in red thread. A pattern that looked eerily like the one Nathan once drew in his notebook from a dream. With shaking hands, she turned it over. There were words written in faded ink, barely visible. "The soul that loves too fiercely must pay in blood. Only love without fear will silence the dead." Emily stared at the words, her heart pounding. Maybe this wasn't just a curse. Maybe it was a test. And maybe, just maybe, it could be broken. The next morning, Emily skipped class. Her fingers ran over the stitched symbol again and again. The words replayed in her head like a chant. Only love without fear will silence the dead. It wasn't the kiss that triggered the curse. It was the fear that always followed. The guilt, the panic. The act of pulling away before love could truly root itself. And that fear had a cost, a soul. His every time. She met Nathan by the lake, where the trees were now half bare, their leaves scattered like old pages across the ground. He saw her coming and stood slowly, watching her the way someone might watch a storm rolling in, beautiful, dangerous, inevitable. "I remember everything now," she said, So do I, he replied. They sat side by side, knees brushing. I know what we have to do, she said quietly. Is it going to kill me? He asked without flinching. I don't know. But I do know this. If we keep being afraid, we'll keep reliving this again and again. And I'd rather lose you with love in my heart than keep you by holding back. Nathan exhaled shakily. Then do it. Whatever it is. Just do it all the way this time. No hesitation. She reached into her coat pocket and took out the cloth. He looked at the symbol and froze. I've seen that. In a dream, I was holding it. And you were bleeding. She nodded. It is a ward, a binding charm, a key. My mother must have used it once, maybe to stop the curse temporarily. But it didn't hold. She took his hand and placed the cloth between their palms. We have to break it with something stronger than protection. We have to replace it. With intention, with choice. What kind of choice? The kind that terrifies us both. That night, they returned to the rooftop where they first spoke about death. She lit a candle. Nathan brought a small notebook, the one he'd filled with fragmented dreams and sketches of other lives. They tore out the pages. Each one, they burned. As smoke curled into the dark October sky, Emily recited the words she had found. Nathan repeated after her, voice low, steady, no life left behind. No guilt passed forward. Let love be what binds us, not death. They stood in silence after the final flame flickered out. Then Nathan turned to her. Kiss me, Nathan. No fear, remember. She hesitated for one breath, two, and then she kissed him. Slow, deep, nothing like the first time. This kiss was full of memory and fire, sorrow and hope, old wounds and new choices. And the moment their lips parted, the wind stilled. The silence felt different. Not heavy, not ominous, still, quiet, safe. He looked at her with tears in his eyes. Do you feel it? Yeah, she whispered. It's gone. They stayed like that for a long time, arms around each other, faces close, the city forgotten below. But then, two endings follow. Choose one, or both. Ending the light in the weeks that followed. Nothing strange happened. Nathan stayed. No dreams, no accidents, no deaths. Emily's fear faded slowly, like snow melting in spring. She could finally hold his hand without checking her phone for bad news. She could laugh without guilt catching in her throat. One evening, Nathan turned to her and said, I think we did it. I know we did, she smiled. They never stopped remembering, but now, the memories were theirs to keep, not to fear. For the first time across lifetimes, they loved freely, and no one had to die for it. Ending B, the shadow at first, everything felt right. The silence, the warmth, the stillness in the air. But as they stood there, arms around each other, Nathan's body swayed slightly. Nathan, she whispered. He pulled back, smiled gently. It is okay, I just wanted to see you happy before I go. Number, we broke it, you said. We broke it for you. And that's enough. He leaned in, one last kiss, soft as a goodbye. Then he collapsed in her arms. No pain, no panic, just stillness. As the sky darkened above her, Emily screamed his name. But deep down she knew this was the last time. And because she had loved him completely without fear, without walls, he was free. Next time, he wouldn't have to find her. He would rest and she would live, really live at last.